really. We're the kings of the Sunday, on the booth on a Monday. Just took a flight to the...
Yes, people, as you can see on the screen, our Puma collection. Make sure you go cop that ASAP to avoid any disappointment.
Yes guys, it's your boy DC and we're joined here by Marvin, aka the referee's nightmare, and also Lenzo Zeus. Okay, so today is all about us finding more about Marvin, okay, find out about his football career, what he's done in football and why he decided to join DC, and also just a few other things as well. I'm going to put him to the test in a few extravagant quizzes as well. Okay, so Marvin, how are you today, man? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's a bit cold today. Yeah, you got a nice trim for the session.
He came fresh for today, man. He got a fresh trim for today. Before, he was looking earthy. It's different.
Exactly.
When Lenzo gave me a call, I said, you know what? Told my barber to come to my house and give me a quick trim.
What? You got a concierge thing? Yeah.
Exactly.
This guy's moving. This kind of. It's our DC movie. You feel me?
Exactly. Everyone has to make sure they've got a nice fresh trim before they start.
So, man here got ready.
Marv, tell us about yourself then. Where did it start for you? Where did football start for you?
Football?
Right from the beginning. We'll go
right from the beginning?
Right from the beginning.
That's a good question, man. Right from the beginning, I just always had a ball. Like, from as early as I can remember, just kicking the ball in the house and getting told off by my mum. Do you know what I mean?
That's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, me and my brother just playing football in the passageway, in the hallway. And then just got into like a local team and started playing from like under 8s.
Okay, cool. So did you play for a school team as well when you was younger, like in primary school?
Primary school, yeah.
You did, yeah.
Running the primary school.
Okay. And you know, it is. That's what I know. Like, so when you were younger, who inspired you to play football? Like, when you realised you wanted to play football, like, who was your favourite player at that time?
At that, the earliest memory, it was just goal scorers really. Like, I remember Thierry Henry was one.
The greatest.
Just loads of strikers and loads of like flary players. So like David Ginola at Newcastle, and at Tottenham. Then like just loads of like flary players. I liked Nobby Solano, liked Alan Shearer, Andy Cole,
I think if you talk about Premier League greats, we've got to talk about Thierry Henry. I feel like even as a Chelsea fan, I have to say it, like,
you gotta give it to him.
Thierry Henry's been one of my favourite Premier League players because he had the va-va-voom as a player, you know.
No one like him in today's game. He can take the ball from where he took it from, take it all the way and score a goal.
Exactly. You know what about him, it's his character as well, his charisma. Like you can see his character through his play. Do you know what I mean?
You know how to express himself in his play.
Exactly, yeah. So I feel like them kind of players are good players to be like inspired by and obviously drive as a footballer and stuff like that. So when we talk about grassroots football, obviously you're playing grassroots now, so that's where it all started for you. So like what clubs are you at and like where did you progress from the grassroots club into the next level?
I started at under 8s for a team called Dalmore Albion in the Tangent League.
Okay.
Remember the Tangent League?
Yeah, that's where it all starts.
That's where it all starts.
A lot of good players, man, the Tangent League. And yeah, like I said, I liked forward and flary players. I was a striker.
That's right. What area was that in?
That was in like Onrock.
Okay.
Forest Hill.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So yeah, man. I played up front, top goal scorer every season.
Okay. So you was batting up the primary school teams. You was batting up the Sunday teams.
Yeah.
Really implementing yourself and putting a footprint on your football career. So what was next? What happened next? Like, tell us the next kind of steps.
The next kind of step was I was playing for my school team, and we played against Eton College.
Okay.
You ever heard of Eton College?
Yeah. Was you secondary school now?
Secondary school.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm still playing at Dalmore Albion. I'm like 13 years old.
Yeah.
Eton College is like where Prince Harry and Prince William were.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But we played against that school, and there just happened to be a lot of scouts at that game. So when I played for my school team, I think I played a year out, and then when I got back to school the next day, my PE teacher was just like, I think Crystal Palace was there yesterday. They want you to come down for a trial. So I went down for a trial the following Tuesday. Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. It's playing on the 3G there, and then that was my first start in like the next level.
So like, did you, going back a little bit, like did you know that you had like the skill to take football serious as a career, or did you like just play it as a sport and then once that opportunity happened, that's when you thought?
No, like I always thought yeah, I'm just gonna play football.
Yeah.
Like I want to be a professional footballer.
And
Also.
so when obviously you went on trial for Crystal Palace,
Yeah.
when you got in,
Yeah.
what was your mindset at that time? How old were you at that time?
I was 14.
Yeah, so as a 14-year-old,
Yeah.
just got a break at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
This could be it. What was your mindset at that time?
Mindset was at the time wasn't. It was just like if I'm being honest, it was like just try and fit in. Don't look like I'm supposed to be there, kind of thing. And then I can start building on trying to progress from there. Yeah. So like when I got there, I was surrounded with a lot of good players that I didn't know at the time, but they've gone on to make names for themselves and things like that. But at the time, they were good players and they were stand-up players at the time. So yeah, loads of good players. I remember like one of my first training sessions, I was training with Victor Moses, Ashley Robinson, Johnny Bostock.
So like a lot of players.
Like a lot of good players that have gone on and had good careers. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So we're at Palace now. How old was you again? 13?
14.
14. You're at Palace now. So what happened? What happened at Palace? Like, where did it go from? Like, how did it impact your life, your school
yeah,
life,
I'll tell
anything
you.
like that? And the,
And
the ladies as well. Like, what happened
with the ladies, man. Do you know what it was? Yeah, it was good like throughout school because you know like.
You're the guy, innit?
You're the guy.
You're the guy.
And there was another guy in my school that played for Fulham.
Okay.
He was at Fulham.
Sorry to cut him. Was he a striker then? Or did he change positions?
So now I'm a left back.
Okay, cool. Right, cool.
So before you go further, like you were a striker,
Yeah.
so you're left back.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So that happened when I was playing Tangents League. There's this team. I forgot the name of the team. Called Melwood.
Okay.
But they always gave our defenders trouble. I would score and do my thing, but they always gave our defenders trouble. This guy like, used to be up front and he was really good. And this one game, they had like a very good attack. So my manager has told me like, can you play centre back? And at this age, I'm not short, Marvin. I'm just average like everyone else. So he put me centre back.
Before times change.
Yeah, exactly. Before anyone else could.
Before times change.
So like, I just bossed it. I just went centre back and absolutely bossed it. Locked their strikers up. I think I scored as well, won the game. And then he's just gone flipping out like, trying to stay there. Yeah, so then just carried it on. When I went to Palace, in fact, when I went to Palace, one of the stand-up things at Palace for me was we played a little. Do you know where the stadium is?
Yeah.
Palace, yeah. So we played on that pitch, and Ian Dowie was the first team manager at the time.
Okay.
Remember Ian Dowie?
Yeah.
So he's got a brother called Bob Dowie, and he was like, I don't know what he did really at this club, but he was there, and I played like a little showcase game there with the under 18s, and I scored. And I played up front, scored. And then that was kind of like one of the standout things. But then when I got into the team, like involved with the team, they kind of like told me what's your position. I kind of said centre back. I was like, nah, you're not really gonna fit for centre back. And then moved me left back.
Okay.
So
Cool. So we're back up. We're still at Palace now.
Yeah.
We're still at Palace. So what was your experience at Palace? How was the academy set up? Like, so obviously as a football academy, as well as a football club, we want to obviously replicate what they did.
Yeah.
So what was the academy set up like? Like, what did they do that was outstanding for you? What could they have done better? And how did they treat you as a player?
Palace is from South London. There's a lot of ballers in South London. Like, especially with the growing up, there's a lot of ballers in South London. So when you turn I used to get after school. So I remember Tuesday after school, get a train from Battersea to Adderley, get off and walk down to Crystal Palace, and then it's just game time. Everyone's popping, everyone's playing. It's good standard. That was my first time like seeing the level of other good players. Whereas when you're playing like amateur level or like Champions League, not everyone in your team's on that level.
You've now gone from being a stand-up player to like now.
Yeah. So I'm just playing at that level and just trying to pick up things as quickly as possible.
Did you find that hard? Sorry.
Yeah.
At that time. So when you first came in and you first, like, as you said, you started to see the levels of playing. Were you like, oh damn, like, these are different? And did you find it hard to keep with the pace that they were playing at?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Took me about 6 weeks, to be honest with you. took me about 6 weeks to like get to the.
Had like a reality check, innit?
Yeah, it took me about 6 weeks, literally. Like they were just ahead of me a little bit.
I think you got to remember as well, like some of these boys, like, they've been there from like 8.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And also you've come as a late developer, you kind of got to catch on to like where they're at because they've had a lot of like of the foundation training from 8.
The levels of training they had.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
At that point, up to that point as well.
Exactly. So yeah, one of my first training so we had Tuesday National Sports Centre, Thursday National Sports Centre, Saturday was at Copers Cope, Beckenham, like even my first day at Copers Cope, I remember going through the reception. Do you know who's got a gate at the front now?
Yeah.
They never had a gate then.
Okay, cool.
So you
just
walk
through and
just walk all the way up to the reception door. And I walked all the way up to the reception door my first day. And as I'm about to like open the door, like someone from the inside pushed it open. It was like, I think it was Simon Jordan, me and Dowie. Like my first day, training. Then walked past me.
The chairman and the first team manager.
The chairman and the first team manager walked straight past me and told me like, oh yeah, changes were down there.
Did that like inspire you?
Yeah, it inspired me big time. So I went through, and then the first team there, like I've only seen these guys on Match of the Day. Do you know what I mean?
TV.
So I'm seeing like Andy Johnson, Routledge, loads of these players that you know, like you're looking up to, you know, when you're at school. They're just there right in front of you, and I'm watching them train a little bit, and I'm just like, this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like this is it. I'm involved now. So that's how you feel. You feel like you're on the path to be in them.
Yeah.
Was there like a lot of pressure on you, do you think, or on yourself? Because you're there, like you're at Palace now, you're 14 years old, obviously you're trying to get that 2-year scholar.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a few years before you get that scholar, so it's like, is there a lot of pressure on you to work harder than everyone else to get
100%. 100%, it's a lot of pressure. Like I remember teachers at school used to like say, like, don't mess it up, you're in a good position. You know, your parents are proud, your family's proud, and they think, oh yeah, you're on the road, you think you're on the road, so yeah, there's a lot of pressure. You don't want to get released, or you don't want to fall out of this, you just want to keep progressing, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
At that time, obviously you got in there, you've trained a few sessions with them, and started to get to know everybody there.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing in terms of when you first arrived, obviously you're getting involved, what was the hardest thing, like, even outside of the football part, what was the hardest thing socially, with family, friends, was there any distractions?
The hardest thing is mentally, isn't it? I think the hardest thing is mentally because, like you said, I've come from being a stand-up player in my previous team, and now I'm just an average player in this team. And the mental side of seeing other players like, oh, they're so much better, like you think, oh, this guy's better than me, this guy's better than me. And then the mental side of trying to stay, not positive, because you're always positive, but it's like trying to push yourself to get to that level. I think that's one of the hardest things, and then trying to stay committed, stay dedicated while you've got everything else going on around you. So,
okay, cool. Well, you're a local lad, so obviously getting to and from training is easy for you.
Yeah.
But not everyone has that kind of like luxury in it. So like,
loads of players from different areas.
That's what I want to touch base on. So like, do you feel like, because it's an issue that also happens in football now, like, do you feel like a lot of clubs are targeting players outside the catchment area, which puts a lot of pressure on young players, especially like 13, 14 year olds who have to go to school, travel 2 hours, train and come back? Like,
that's another thing, because like I get up for school at like, I don't know, 7, maybe earlier than that really actually. Probably get up for school like 6:30, 7. You do your school, then I travel to, obviously it's near, it's not too far from my house, but then I have to do training. You probably finish training around, I don't know, 7:30. I'm getting back home later than my parents.
Yeah, of course.
Are getting back home from work.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're shat. When you go to work 9 to 5, you come home, you're shat. Yeah. So I'm doing a longer day than they're doing, really.
At age of 14.
At the age of 14. So and like I said, I'm local. In my team, they had, when I got to Palace, it was the first time I played with players from everywhere. I had players from Crawley, players from Hastings, players from just loads of Stockwell.
I think that's where not an issue, but I feel like that's where a lot of pressure gets put on young players because each team should just have their own catchment area where they should get players from, and that will, you know, ease the pressure off the young boys and allow them to be able to focus properly on them playing football. So I'm saying, instead of them, because there's like players from like South London playing for like Arsenal, for example, or like some North London clubs, and that travel community is a big thing.
And that is a big thing. It's a big commitment, and a lot of family, a lot of kids, a lot of boys don't have that support, family support, where some players do have it. Like fortunate, but some are unfortunate and don't have that support where they've got parents that can take them or pick them up from wherever they're going to, like Arsenal if they're from South London, to get them back home, things like that. But what I would say is, I don't mind it. I think that's part of the craft. Like, and it makes you at a young age decide, is this something I really want to do? Because I could just go home after school and play PlayStation. I can go chill. Do I really want to do this? Lug all my gear to school for the whole school day, and then take the train or the bus all the way up to wherever you got to go to get back home, get a night bus home? Do you want to do that? And that makes you grow up, and again, it makes you make that decision. Is this something I really want to do? So I don't mind it too much.
Did you used to get leave with Palace from school?
Yeah, sometimes. Like if I've got training or if I've got a game, sometimes. So
how was your school like supportive in terms of football?
School was.
Did they used to like liaise with the club?
Yeah, so like
everything.
Yeah, I think they would write to the club, right to the school.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it was. I used to get leave. That was like later on, year 11.
So
year 11 at school.
So cool. So it's interesting to find out a little bit of things about in regards to how people like think about players travelling and stuff, because it's a big thing, especially now, about players travelling and stuff. But like as you said though, I think it's something that players need to get to grips with from a young age, because you know they could be a South London playing for a team in North of England.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a big community, you know. So, but we're at Palace now. You're 14, so tell me about your story at Palace and what happened there and everything happening.
Loads of good players, man. The competition at Palace, I'm sure you guys know, or you might have heard of. The competition at Palace was immense, especially the year that I was there. Had loads, like I think, you know what the success rate is for academy boys getting into the first team?
It's like 1%, isn't it?
It's very, very low.
Yeah, it's like 1%.
This particular year, like usually you get 1 or 2 boys that will progress into the first team. This year,
Moses was above you, wasn't he?
Victor Moses.
No, Moses
would be, he was above. So I was looking up to those players like him, Tyrone Berry, Nathan Simpson, like loads of players up there, Ben Watson. But yeah, so like there's loads of competition. Like I said, only 1 or 2 players who get into the first team from your year group kind of thing. Everyone else is really getting released or moved on to different clubs. I think we had loads of players that got into the first team. Wow. Lee Hills, who was in my position, Ashley Robinson, Kieran Jajali, Kieran Kadaga.
Do you know these players he's talking about? Of course. He's licking his lips over there thinking
loads of these players.
He loves it.
Loads of these players got into the first team. So yeah, like there's a lot of good players that got into the first team. Like a whole list. I think there was like 5 or 6 players that got into the first team, which is unheard of really for a year group.
Sorry, so in that, like how many in total, like a rough number, like was there like 30 of you or?
There was about, in that year group, there was about 16 of us. 16 of us and a few youngers,
And then was it that those who didn't get in the team got released, or they get moved to other clubs? Or?
Yeah, so a lot of boys went on to different clubs, other clubs.
Yeah.
I say a lot, more than usual, got into the first team. Got moved on, got pros. A lot of boys got pros actually, which is good. Like I said, the competition at Palace at that time was crazy.
Tenacious.
And unfortunately I got released.
So when you got released, so you got released, I was 16.
Yeah.
16 you got released, how did they break it to you?
So
they write you a letter, or they come and sit in front of you?
No, they had a meeting, and coach, like you and the coach, and he's telling you, unfortunately, what the one thing that he said to me that stuck, that I remember was, he said, I'm not saying you're not going to be a professional footballer, you're just not going to be a professional with us. And that just made me think, I didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to say, I didn't.
That moment, if you can recall, because that is a painful time.
Yeah.
You're 16 now. You're a young man. Like, you're a kid. What is going through your mind at that moment? There, like, because did you feel like that was going to happen going into the meeting, or
no?
Was it? Oh, so it was a shock.
Yeah.
So when they dropped it, like,
so it was a shock. It was like
they usually let you know before the season ends, innit?
Yeah. So like I was like, oh, like, alright, like I thought, like you think you got more time, or that you're doing enough, or you know, do you know what I mean, things like that. So I just thought, where am I gonna go? Like I can't go back to Tangier.
What'd your parents say?
Can't even remember. I thought my mum just said it's alright. Like my mum was really more academic anyway.
Yeah.
My dad was like just keep going.
She go like,
I'm gonna show this guy I can get out. I will show you. I'm better than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm quicker than you.
I didn't even do that, you know. Like, you know what I did? The first day, I would have been like, no, honestly.
you know, he's on the left. I'm like, no,
First night I cried. First night I cried. I remember the first night I cried. And then when I woke up the next day, like, football was not in my head. Like, it was just out of my head.
You see the moments there, yeah, that's painful because you know what it is. Like, as a young man or that young time, you're thinking, this is it. I'm gonna do this.
So when I hear things like the kid's name from Man City, Jeremy Weston, like it is a serious thing. Like I think clubs do need to do more.
Do you know what I think it is though for that? I feel it's like the wraparound care after, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like
they need to do more with the aftercare of, okay, you've been released.
What happens now?
Now we're gonna help you transition from this lifestyle, this life that you've pictured, that you built up in your head, and he's probably like, I don't know what age he was at City for, but he's grown up there. Like he's got his friends there. He's got
his life.
His life is there. So then, how do you transition out of that?
At that time, was there any aftercare?
No.
So literally, when he got released, they're like, okay, thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
Good luck on your future.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's good now. Like the likes of like Moses, that's what he does. Right? So he goes into clubs and he talks to players about aftercare stuff, and they can speak to stuff.
So there's a shout out to Max Noble as well. So like Max Noble, if you guys don't know him, is one of my friends. I know him. He used to play for Fulham. He played for Fulham and he played for Wales. Tipped to be like the next Ryan Giggs, like amazing player. He got some terrible, like very unfortunate injuries, and again, no aftercare for players that have this track in their head and that vision that they're working for. And when it does go the other way, there's no aftercare for that player. So he's doing a lot of work now to help.
I think it's needed, to be fair, because like there's a lot of like players that just can't handle the rejection of a pro club, innit? So like they either go into some sort of depression.
Yeah.
They fall out of love with the game, or you know, sadly, some of them, you know, end their life. Innit?
That was when I was in the academy, or when I was like at those ages, like 16, 17. What I saw was just boys coming out of clubs and then just not doing football at all.
So I think it is as well. I think for that, you see, for like young boys, they're like, they've been like at a pro club, they're so like focused, and then when they leave, all the distractions they try to like block out, like women, alcohol,
100%.
all of that is coming. Let's say
especially when you turn 18.
Exactly.
You turn 18 and you're allowed in those club doors.
And it's women, so it's time to go. And the women want
another level, man.
It's time to go. But and also what I say is, you know, the main thing that people got to realise at that time, or you got to remember, is these are kids.
Yeah,
literally kids. Like their mind might not be strong yet to be able to take them kind of things. So
those hits are hard, man.
Yo, when I was younger, And we used to believe we could do so many different things.
Yeah.
And you're in this thing, like everyone wants to be footballer at one point.
Yeah.
For you to actually be there and for them to essentially snatch it from you, that's what you're thinking, you're taking it as. That can be so damaging to a young man. So aftercare is so important at that time.
I think the only good thing that your academy manager done was just said that it doesn't mean you can't be a professional.
Important.
Because you see, some people could be like, you can't make it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And that one chance is gone for a minute.
You're not good enough.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And then
We get told we're not good enough.
But when I left Palace, my mum was just talking to me about college. That was it. College.
At that time, you didn't hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
Was there any football college programs when you was going?
So yeah, so like I went to Staines. I played for Staines after that. So basically, in that time period where I should have been applying for college, I was writing to like every club I could. Every club, and they all kept saying like, "Oh, are you playing first team? Are you playing first team football?" And I was like, "Nah, I've just left academy." Or they just wouldn't get back to me at all. So then I went to. The only thing I could do to get my mum off my back was go to like football college. Yeah, so like Staines Town had a partnership with Kingston College.
Yeah.
So she was happy with that, Kingston College, and then I played for Staines, which turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done, like with my football career, because the training was top notch. Like it was full-time training, so I was training. Nothing changed in my training. Yeah. I was still training at the same level, like at professional level. Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday games, Thursdays, day off, Friday mornings. Do you know what I mean? It's a full-time program. And the players were academy level or better. Do you know what I mean? So the players were amazing around me. I played with some amazing players at Staines. So a lot of players there went on to be professionals and have had good careers as well, which is good.
And how long were you at Staines for?
I was at Staines for 3 years, so 16 to 19.
Oh, good.
So, when you went to Staines, after got released from Palace, did you have like more of the fire in your belly to like prove this geezer who just told you can't do it at Palace? That
I'm gonna show you.
You're gonna come back and buy like.
I'm gonna show you.
I came to Staines thinking I should be better than everyone here.
Yeah.
But then you realise that everyone's come from somewhere.
They all came with that same
mentality.
So you come with that Tandridge mentality again, like I'm the best here.
It's my time.
But what I was like, I'm a good player. I'm a good player. But it's like when I got to Staines, I felt like I was one of the best. Obviously, I needed to learn. I needed to understand football on a professional level. That's what they were training you for. They're not training you ability-wise because you've got the ability. You just need to keep it ticking, keep it sharp. But then what they're training you on really is the professional side of playing football, how to be a professional, and that's what I learned a lot at Staines, which helped me really with my career.
So that Staines now. You progressed through the youth team, under 18s into the first team now.
Yeah.
So you're playing what, Tuesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Saturday?
Tuesday, Saturday.
Okay, so you left college. Was that what you was doing? Was playing for
No. So what I did was I was at college from 16 to 19.
Yeah.
I progressed. My first year I was at under 18s. Second year I got into the reserves. So I'm still training with the academy, but the reserve team manager would use me here and there. But I ended up doing pretty well for the reserves, and he was kind of like nudging the first team manager to say, listen, like have a look, like come down at the reserve game and watch you play. And then he kind of wasn't really having me because the left back that was playing was the skipper. So the left back that was playing in the first team was the skipper.
You know what happens if non-league football? The thing about that, that's why a lot of people fall out of love with it, because there's so many politics in football, but in non-league, like, for example, the gaffer could be mates with the left back.
Yeah, it's literally.
Family club.
He's like his wife's brother, so he has to play it. He has to play. Same.
Happens everywhere.
Christmas Day is about to be walking.
Exactly. Like he drops it for the young boy. So I'm saying.
Yeah. So, he was a skipper, and the only time I got a look in, I think he played for his country. I can't remember what country it was, but he went on international duty, and I think that's when I got my foot in the door, like when he went away.
Did you see many players from London?
No, like I said, I left at 19.
Oh, okay, cool.
So left at 19 and then didn't play football.
Did you not?
No.
Why not?
Didn't play football. Just stopped for love of the game.
What, after that?
Yeah, literally.
Seriously?
So at that moment that you notice, did you decide coming to the end of that period? Did you decide, you know, I don't want to do this anymore?
No, it wasn't that.
Come to a point.
It was just like 3 or 4 years have passed when I haven't.
Did you feel
get
like,
back up to that level.
I was going to say, did you feel like in them 3 years you feel like that would be like a step?
Yeah,
or something
I
like
thought
that?
I'd be at stage. I was give myself like a year at stage, and I'll be back playing for some professional club. But like 3-4 years have gone by, like I think I started working.
Did you feel like wasting your time a little bit? Kind of.
Yeah, of course, like thinking back now,
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
I did. But I think I started playing again when I was 22, 21 or 22.
So you had 19 to 22 off? Was that a month?
Yeah, like two. Like I had like a year or two off. Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's mad.
I had a year or two off. So like I came back like, really 21, 22 age. And then I went. Where did I go? I went to like. Listen to how funny this is, yeah. How I got back into playing football was like two of my best friends. They were training with Dorking. They were training with Dorking. Can't remember what league they were in. I think they were like combined counties at the time, something like that. They were training with Dorking. They've just gone to me. Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's sad. But they've just gone to me like, I just come training, then like just like come and get out of the house, like come train with us. So I've gone training. Halfway through like probably like 15 minutes into the session, or like half an hour into the session, the coach just ran on the pitch and said, listen, you've got to sign now. He's like literally pulled off.
Did you go over to him and start telling him about the wages and that every week?
So I was just like, I just went in there and I was like, alright, cool, I'm gonna play like, because I was enjoying it. So I just started to sign out. Actually, I think I signed the papers, yeah, and then at the end of the session in the car going home, I said, boys, so like, I'm playing Saturday, you know, like I've signed. They was like, is it? Oh, that's sick. Like, I was like, so who got that? They're like, no, we ain't signed yet. And I was like, oh. Like buzzing to play with my boys. Like,
What's the next to them trouble?
So she walked in there, got in the door, you're like, what, you're not coming?
And I was always like, so what? You're not signed? And they go, no. I was like, So I went back to them, saying, no, listen, I'm only coming to like play well. I didn't know they had signed. But anyway, I ended up playing for them, played the season, and then kind of just enjoyed it. And then obviously that level was a bit too easy for me, so I think I went higher. I played for another team. I played for, where did I go? I played for another team. Can't remember where it was, but then one of my old teammates at Palace, Ashley Robinson, like got back in touch with him. We were just training together because he was non-league as well. And then we ended up going to Eastbourne together.
Were they in the conference then?
Yeah. So went to Eastbourne and did alright there. Felt confident, felt good about playing football again.
At Eastbourne he was working, obviously training evenings in this.
Yeah. So did that for a season. End of the season, got relegated. So like
so you've gone from high.
You've gone there, so
like,
let's come back, you're thinking,
How does that feel?
Yeah,
Because I always feel like, you might like to tell me as a Arsenal on the way down there, but as a Palace fan, like, as soon as you get relegated, how does it feel as a fan?
do you think you're running like Arsenal and stuff?
I've experienced that relegation or anything like that. So how does it feel as a fan? Because obviously if a fan feels that bad, then the player might feel like 10 times worse. No?
Yeah, no. I don't really like when Cassidy say that.
No, I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
I'm asking serious questions.
He's trying to teach. This guy right here is trying to teach.
It does feel bad though. Like, it does feel bad because even when I was at Palace, when I went there, it was in the Championship. While I was there with the Premiership, and then while I was there, I got relegated. So it feels like, oh shit, come on man, need to get like.
What was the change
for me?
Atmosphere like when you got relegated? Was the gaffer like smashing the chairs out and bottles in that? Or was it just
I think Gaffer got sacked before the end of the season, but that's a bad feeling because the Gaffer's brought you in because he's believed in you. Do you know what I mean? He's brought you in because he's believed in you.
Any manager you got that favour with.
Do you know what I mean? So you want to repay that favour by putting good performances, getting the results, like
making proud.
make him look good, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So when he gets sacked, it's like you kind of let him down a little bit, or you let the club down, fans. But it's part of football.
Yeah.
It's part of football. You just gotta keep strong mentally. You gotta keep strong mentally because that's when fans really are getting on. Do you know what I mean? When you're down there, you're losing games. Fans really are. They really are on you, especially at non-league level when you can hear the fans. Like
they can call.
You can actually hear the fans. It's not 80,000 getting drowned out. You can hear it. So like yes.
Did they get good turnout on fans in Spawn?
Yeah. It was decent. It was not bad.
So they got relegated, yeah? Did you like...
I moved on.
Where'd you go from there?
I think I went to to the Mitchell.
Where were they? Random? Prem?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
You come back home, yes.
See, yeah, like literally round the corner.
Yeah.
Played for Tina Mitchell, which was a good time. Good time as well, man. So that was like playing with my friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, just enjoyed it. Played with a lot of players that was at Palace before. Some players that was at Staines. They used to start playing with friends. Like we've known them for a long time. We're all here together.
How did they do in the league? Like?
We did alright, you know. We did alright. We had a bad blip for a bit. In that bad blip, the manager again who puts faith in you and trusts you got to get sacked. Got a new manager in who again like had a good relationship with. We ended up doing alright.
So what happened there then? Did you stay at Tuna Mitchell or?
I stayed at Tuna Mitchell for season and a half.
So how old are you now then?
I think I'm 24.
So have you still got like at 24? It's still young. Have you still got that vision and like aspirations?
Yeah, so like even so at Tuna Mitchell we played Fulham. No, they play Fulham every season, right? Yeah. So we played Fulham and a few other pro teams, but Tuna Mitchell get a good turnout anyway. It's like a nice family-run club. When I was playing for Tuna Mitchell, we played Fulham. Got a big turnout. I think Steve Coppell and someone else, Chris Coleman, I think, who came to watch the game. They was in the crowd too. Played 45 minutes. You know, like you're playing Fulham, you think, oh, I want to play 90 minutes. You want to do a good job. You play me out, you play me left mid, and I just thought, alright, play me left mid. I just need to go out there and just. Every time I get the ball, try and rip this defender. That was my mindset. And then for 45 minutes, I thought I was doing my thing. Got in at half time, it was like, yeah, Marvin taking you off at half time. Taking this guy off at half time. And I was sitting there thinking,
what are you doing, man?
I'm having a good game. There's a big crowd out there. I think my daughter, my missus is up there. I think family's there, my friends are there. Like, I want to keep playing. I feel like I'm doing alright. Got to train in the next game.
When your missus come watch you, like, do you put like extra flair in your boot? Because
I've seen man.
I don't do that. I got the thing is, I haven't got any of that. I haven't got no flair. So if I put any flair on the speech, it's gonna look like an idiot.
Start to step up to
just control it and pass it. That's me, man. But so like after that game, I got took off at half time. Next training session, the captain Lee Hall has come over to me and said in the warm up, he said, "Oh, like Gaffer wants to speak to us after the game, or after training." And I said to him, like, "Wow, why do you want to speak to us?" So anyway, he's like, "Oh, apparently like we did well yesterday, and so they're looking at us." So after training, the Gaffers brought me and Hawley into his office and said, "Yeah, look, like you both did really well yesterday. Basically, what they're saying is that they're going to keep watching you throughout the season." So this is when I was 24.
So you're buzzing,
I'm thinking, finally, like, this is almost 10 years later. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, Jesus, all right. So like, finally, I'm getting some sort of like recognition, like some sort of buzz. Like, yeah, it's good. So yeah, 24 now. So like, getting some buzz back into like my football career. Like, I'm buzzing. Like, I'm
momentum.
Every game. So I remember we played away to Crawley in the FA Cup, and we're away to Crawley in the FA Cup. We're away to Crawley down in the FA Cup, and it's me, Quincy Rowe, the centre back, and the gaffer. He's driving us here. We're getting in for the gaffer, and I remember he's telling me in the car, Marv, like watching you, you've had like 3 good performances on the spin. Like keep it up. Like he's basically telling me something's coming. Keep it up, kind of thing. So in my head, I'm buzzing, but I'm not showing it. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm keep it going. Quincy's even thinking something's gonna happen for you, Mark. Like I'm hearing it for myself, kind of thing. That's when we had the bad blip. Then we started. Like I played well that game. Played well that FA Cup game. Got man of the match. Moved on to the next round of the FA Cup. Everything was going well, and then we just started losing games on the bounce, and we ended up like very low in the table.
How was your performance during that blip? Would you say like you were a stand-up player in that blip?
Yeah. So like I was one of the better players in our team, performance-wise. Not generally, but I just also because we had some really good players in the team, but just performance-wise on the day, then yeah, I would say one of the stand-up players. And then so after that, had a bad blip, and then I think I was linked with Fulham and Bristol, but they were both Rob's linked, the gaffer's linked. Yeah. After he got sacked, that I just never heard of those links ever again.
So that then now you feel like you're back to square one, isn't it?
So now I'm back to square one, and it's like we're flipping out, end of the season's come now, and I'm like, where do I go?
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
At that moment, how do you keep yourself motivated?
I don't know. I didn't think about it.
It's like taking a few steps forward again.
So much to slap
It
down.
was a mad time. Like I think I was training. I was training really well, playing really well. So I just thought it will happen. Like it's just gonna happen. So if it wasn't that, it would be something else. It's gonna happen. And then I moved to Walton Casuals. Yeah, Walton Casuals.
Same league, actually.
Same league. Yeah. Same league. Good setup there. And then I got called up for my country. So then
So that feel?
So that was
so like now you feel like it's like a pro.
Exactly. Yeah. So like now I'm feeling real good. So like.
And what countries that was for the people?
Montserrat. Yeah, it's my mum's side. She's also my mum's fashion for people.
Shout out.
Caribbean people wear. So yeah. Woke up one morning to a missed call and a text. It's a long text saying, look, this is like it's from the Montserrat manager.
Do you think it's like a prank at first? Like someone's trying to...
No, do you know what it is? My uncle's best friend played for Montserrat.
Is it?
Yeah. And he kind of like, the last time I saw him, he said, oh, like, I'm going to tell the gaffer that you play in it, like, you're Montserrat, you play, like, obviously my family member, you play. So he's come down and seen a couple of my games without me knowing.
And he's just given the call up.
And then like watch a couple of my games, and then I won't know. And then he's probably talked to my gaffer at Walton, and then got my number. And then suddenly I've missed the call because I was sleeping. And then I've got a text, and the text is just like, he's introducing himself and saying he wants to invite me down to a training camp. Next time I got into Walton training, like he must have got the number for the gaffer because he was just like, everyone clapped me in and was just like, he's got
so now you feel like a pro,
yeah,
international camps and that.
You know what I felt like a pro, is when I got to training camp. When I got to training camp, that's when I felt, alright, I'm back. Like, I'm back. Because everyone there was a pro, really. Everyone there was a pro. So, had players from that I've watched before, not met, I just watched them. I know about their career because I'm a football fan. They're in the team, like, I think we had at the time we had Nathan Pond, who was at Fleetwood, teammates with Jamie Vardy at the time. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's pro, literally everyone's pro. My roommate was Darnell Furlong, and Darnell Furlong's playing in the Premier League now for West Brom, the right back.
So like the quality for your national team is like a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah, the quality. So when I got into training, it was zippy, and that's when I felt, okay, flipping out.
So from there, did you feel like this is where I need to be? I need to be with these players every day.
Yeah, but because they're pro and I'm not, and the quality levels is a small gap, but the fitness level is a big gap.
Because I spoke Someone I know who played at non-league is now a pro. He said the main thing about going from non-league to pro isn't about like obviously the tempo's quicker, but it's like fitness levels.
100% fitness levels.
Like you
100%.
from like playing non-league at like Dulwich Hamlet, for example, to like going to play for Brentford, like technically it's probably like still the same kind of player, but fitness-wise it's mad.
Fitness is different.
You can play.
The game's a whole different speed.
Yeah, football doesn't really change.
No, it's just about
football doesn't really change unless you're playing at Man City, Liverpool,
Champions League.
Yeah.
Champions League level,
Elite,
do you know what I mean?
elite level.
Club level. But even some pro teams down to Conference South, it's just the same. It's just the fitness and the tempo and the decision making. Literally, that is it. It's not ability. It's just that. It's so much quicker. It's so much mentally quicker. Players actually know what they're doing. It's not off the cuff. Where you play lower down, players play off the cuff. He knows exactly what he's gonna do every time. Like he knows exactly when he's gonna run, when he's gonna run. It's just the decision making is more deliberate. Yeah.
So how long was you with your national team for? Like in terms of that turn up?
That training camp was only, I think it was like 3 or 4 days.
Okay, how many games did you play then?
It wasn't. It was a training camp.
Oh, okay.
So it was just a training camp to see if like he wants to pick his 18-man squad from this training camp.
Okay, cool.
And then I got a text saying, like, basically, if you get added into the next group chat, you've made it into the 18-man squad, and I was in the next group chat, so that's good. And then the next training camp was at St George's.
Okay, wow.
So St George's English training base.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was there for like a week doing the next training camp, and that was to get us ready for the World Cup.
Was there any national teams there? Was there?
No, there was clubs there though. Burton was there, so
Burton used it a lot.
So Burton was there. There was another team that used it while I was there, and England women's was there. So Gareth Southgate was walking up and down in there, but these times he was the under
21
manager, something like that.
What year is this then?
This is 2015, I believe.
Oh wow, so not even that long.
2015. So yeah, 2015. St George's, that was an amazing experience, man. Like you're there.
You didn't feel like a pro before with a full training camp. And now the England national team training facilities.
And you know they've got the hotel where the England team stay. Like, this is where we're staying. We're staying. So I'm sleeping in this bed in this room, thinking,
who slept in?
Who slept in? Like who's been like this is
great snow.
Do you know what I mean? Like all the pictures are named after like England legends, like this training session went on Ian Wright's pitch, this Gascoigne's pitch or something. It's just you just feel like you're part, you're involved. It's amazing.
That sounds good, man. Do you know what it is? I feel like out of all like the turmoil we had in my career, I feel like that's a big
it's a great
big high. I feel like that
so
gives you a
good
good like motivation and stuff to still try and get it, you know? Because obviously are you still 24 then? 25?
About 20. Yeah, I'm 24 then.
You're 24 then still. So you're still young in the game, as you're saying. So there's still enough time for you to like get somewhere. So what happens then? So you've gone back to Tuna Mitchell.
So gone back to my club and just playing well. I think he's come to watch the last couple games. Like obviously I can see him in the stand now. I know him. And then he's put me in the squad to travel. And then that was amazing experience. The best experience.
Where did you go?
First game was against Curacao, but it's like if the game's like next week Wednesday, you'd go out from now just to get acclimatized to the weather. So we flew out to Barbados, trained in Barbados.
Barbados?
Yeah. Sweltering heat. Oh my god.
Did you get there and just like put your bags down and enjoy it?
No.
Straight to work.
Literally everything. They have everything so. That's when you feel like you're a pro.
Everything's organised.
Like everything is so organised, and down into even how much water you drink. Like literally.
How much water did you drink?
Endorsement.
You wanted that, but like literally, down to how much water you drink. It's like. Members will come through and be like, so you got your bottles, everyone's got their bottles, got your name on the bottles, everyone's got their name on the bottles. Got like maybe like 4 bottles that they give you different protein shake in this one. Julio's got his little option in this one that gives you energy. You got your water bottle. And yeah, so like at certain times this bottle has to be finished. At certain times that bottle has to be finished. Do you know what I mean? You go and wee, and you've got a wee chart there. Like, so
they are making sure you want
everything.
Best
That's
shape.
I never knew that.
I never knew that.
Yes, you got wee charts.
I know there's a lot of science.
Yeah, but I
wee charts.
that they are literally making sure you are in the best possible shape you can be in. Period.
It's the heat that you're playing in the Caribbean. You have to be hydrated. There's no other way. There's no other way. Like,
I don't know how the.
It's the first time I used sun cream in my life.
We couldn't stay in the sun for too long.
Literally, I remember training and like just when he said water break, I just ran to one of the coaches and said, "You got sun cream?" He said, "Yeah," because my face was just burning, my forehead was burning. Slapped it all over. I think, you know when we watch cricket and they got like the white stuff?
You just
slapped it all over.
You know what's growing up? I never knew what that was.
No, I never knew what it was. Used to put it on their nose and then their forehead sometimes.
And the lips is on it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think their lips were dry.
I don't know what it was. I see it on the nose and then I see like under here as well.
Yeah.
And I see it like on their lips and I thought, what is that? I never understood what it was.
It's for the sun, man. Because they're playing, remember, they're playing like West Indies.
Yeah.
Playing, you know what I mean? Like, they're playing West Indies.
And they're out there all day as well.
All day, like, yes, they have.
So, you've been taken to World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
What year is this now?
2050.
2015. And obviously you're training. The first game is against
Curacao.
What's the second game against? Who's the second game against?
So it's 2 legs. So you know like how you have League of Nations now?
Yeah.
Where they've got like a group.
Yeah.
This was like it's like home and away kind of thing. So we played Curacao at their place, and then the next week they're at our place. Things like that. So.
And how long games go? Like, do you remember?
So yeah, it's the hardest game of my life.
Where?
that was the at that time that was the hardest game of my life.
Playing the World Cup was like some World Cup.
It's a big deal. Like it's a big deal, man. I had my first cap as well. Like my international debut. Over there, it was a good experience. Like everything was a good experience. Like leading up to the game, like an amazing experience leading up to the game. When you get there and the national anthem was playing, like you felt a new sense of pride.
They get like a lot of fans come to the game.
Nah. So like we're in Curacao, so they had all of their fans.
Oh wow.
So I
Was there a lot?
about 8,000, I think. 8,000 fans.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. So it was decent crowd. When the national anthem, you can feel that pride, and it's like the national anthem's coming, like you're thinking about your family, you're thinking about you're making history.
Did you sing it?
Nah.
Do you want to get
Tears welling up, but they're not coming out. So I'm just standing there like, the camera's going to cross.
Do you want to sing that song now?
No chance, man.
Yeah, see that camera right there. That one, yeah.
But yeah, and then when the game started, oh my god, Tempo is so fast.
In the heat.
It's unreal. In the heat.
Oh man.
In the heat, it's so fast, man. Like we played Curacao. Curaçao's a Dutch Caribbean island, yeah. So, but basically, Curacao team is if you didn't make Holland's national
Play
team,
for that,
you play for Curacao.
And they're top of football.
Patrick Kluivert is their manager. Was their manager at the time. So he's a legend. Like Patrick Kluivert, Dutch legend.
Played Ajax with them teams.
Yeah. So he's their gaffer. They got some ballers they got some ballers in their team, man. A couple of them played in the Prem, were playing in the Prem at the time. The guy that I was playing against, the one I was playing against was in the Dutch league, but our team played in the Europa League. So he was playing at a good standard. I'm playing non-league and to get me. So Tempo was just flying, and I just had to try and get grips of it quickly, like as soon as I could, really. Yeah, it was good experience though. Then didn't experience anything like that back home. So it was good to go back like that. Played the second leg, had a better game in the set. So we lost that first game. Went back to our place, gave them a better game, and they just about won it. Literally, I think we drew the game, but we could have won the game and won the tie. but they just about won it.
So was it the end of it after that game?
So that was the end of it. So we was going home.
Okay, cool.
So we was going home. When I got back,
So it starts like, it's like, if you don't win that game, that's it.
there was a qualifier. Yeah, it was a qualifier. Literally.
So it's like FA Cup.
Yeah, literally. So when I got back home though, Jesus Christ.
Did you feel like that? Did you feel like though? Because I would have felt this. You play at that kind of level.
Come back and be like
That you'll come back and some club will have that sniff of you, innit?
That's what I thought. Came back. I think I landed the day I landed. That day or the next day, I went to goals like with some players I played in that. I was so sharp,
different,
so sharp, so
confident.
Yeah, even I remember one of them even like they didn't say it to me. They said it to like, among themselves, innit? Like, it was like, oh, I was looking sharp.
He's different now. He's different now.
He's looking sharp.
Yeah, it's scary for
this kid that was looking sharp. And they must have told me like days later, like, hey, you know, you came back, you're looking sharp, like that's actually just yeah, like I came back on that, but then you just get bogged down by it. And like what I felt was, okay, I'm gonna keep the standard. But if I'm not training I wasn't training at that standard.
You can't.
Do you not think it is as well though? I feel like
it's so hard to
I feel like as well though, yeah. When you're like, you replicate the players that you're playing or training with.
Yeah.
So you could be at some high level.
Yeah.
And then obviously when you go back to a level, you like kind of replicate that level, innit? So like even you could be at this high level.
That's how I felt though. That's exactly how I felt.
And then you have to like go back down to
exactly
a level.
how I felt. Like you could have come like I felt like gaffers when I came back. I felt like manager was looking at me like you're like everything just as good as everyone else kind of thing. But I kept thinking to myself, but you haven't seen me like if I was in the better team, you haven't seen me play in the better team. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm good kind of thing. Yeah, just you end up just getting bogged back down. Like, well, I was at a club where training sessions weren't great, the players weren't great. So it was just like, I need to move on somewhere,
Keep yourself at that level.
Yeah.
Just play around people who are higher level so you can
exactly, yeah, man. To play with that.
So then from there, break us down what's happening.
When you even sent me the link to watch you play.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, man, I remember, man. Yeah, it was good. That wasn't my first game though, that was my third or fourth game.
Okay.
And then I wasn't even playing, here's this, how bad is this? I wasn't even playing at a club.
And they still called you up.
They called me up for a camp, training camp.
And you still held it down?
I held it down because it was just poor work, it wasn't much fitness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Look, my ability was still there, but the fitness obviously wasn't. And I kind of like covered that quite well in the session. And then Fluky got into the squad out there. Didn't think I was gonna play. But when I did get out there, I was needed to play. So I was never gonna turn that down. Like I was always gonna say, okay, I'll play. But the pace of the game was so fast that I didn't have the fitness to keep up. So that's how I know that fitness in football is very important. It's very important.
So was that the curtain on your career?
Yeah, so like I was thinking, So I was 48.
So how old were you then?
28.
So it's 28, and you just thought that's it?
Yeah, I was 48.
So from 28 to how old are you now?
30.
You just didn't play, or you just played like casually? For like yourself, like
no, I didn't play at all.
You didn't play none at all, like goals or anything?
Nothing. Goals here and there.
Wow. So it brings us to the next chapter.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're on the next chapter of South London's finest.
That's what we are.
Sunday League's up and coming and greatest.
The best.
That's right, man.
Where did this DC? Who approached the DC? Was it the guy behind the camera over there?
Yeah, man. This one rapper called Jay Snacks. My local rapper called Jay Snacks, he hit me up. Like, do you want to play? And like, to be honest, yeah, I've always said like to people now, I don't like playing Sundays. Like, used to think you'd get injured and all of that. But I haven't played football so long. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm actually on it. You know? My brother wants to play football, so I was like, yeah, like, telling my brother and my cousin like, yeah, I got a little team, you know, to come play with the team. So like, yeah, when I came down, saw the setup, have to be involved, didn't it? Who wouldn't want to be involved?
Exactly.
Who wouldn't want to be involved?
So tell us about your time at DC so far. Obviously,
it's good.
But just to let everyone know,
Let me tell you.
he is the referee's nightmare. The first game he played, the referee had to symbol him.
He doesn't leave them alone.
And then he didn't want to come off the pitch.
They're just going to be left alone. They just want to do their job.
And then I had an altercation because what happened was that Marvin scored a goal, and because the referee hated him so much,
He blocked it.
he didn't allow it.
This is why the referees get stick though. Like, they're not like you got to be fair. Like that's the game where he's sending me, yeah. Bro, like, well, I'm just asking.
Why are you sending me?
Why are you sending me? Why are you sending me?
And these
like, just go. Just go. Tell me why. Tell me why.
These times I'm sat there thinking, wow, please just walk away. Please just walk away.
I'm telling you, I'm shouting like, what? Fucking pack it in.
And then-
Get back in.
And was it that game as well when you scored that goal? Was that the next game?
Next game.
Yeah.
The next game, cool. So then, yeah, Marvin obviously was playing for DC and that, and then obviously he got sent off in another game, and we were silent and we were watching them. And I thought, you know, Marvin's an experienced player. He's not going to get sent off.
No.
The refs.
I'm telling you right now.
The refs.
This guy was doing the most that game, and I thought, you know what? I said to the gaffer, I was like, take him off right now. And he was like, no, this man's gonna get something. I was like, he's not gonna take him off.
Give them some context. Give them some context.
You gotta sit off.
No, we'll add the send off in the video.
You gotta listen. You gotta add the context. I just scored a worldie of a free kick.
Banging.
Yeah, he did score.
Bang.
So he was gassed.
I'm all gassed. Get me that. I'm up here, and the referee just hated me.
To be fair though, the second yellow was a very
harsh one, man.
He went.
The refs just hated me.
It was just accidental.
So
hated
tell us about your time at DC so far. Like what?
Do you know what? The setup is amazing. Like, I enjoy it so much. Like, it feels like, it doesn't feel like a normal Sunday League club.
It's not.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a normal Sunday League club. It's run almost like a professional club. Like, so it's very good. So like I said, who wouldn't want to be here? Like, everyone enjoys it here, which is good. The boys are amazing, really. Everyone's amazing. Everyone gets on well with each other. It's just
the vital things.
yeah, literally, it's just a play. Like, you can tell that it's a very new club.
Yeah.
With just how we play. Do you know what I mean?
So let me just ask you as well, like, you're probably the most experienced player at our club.
Yeah.
What do you think is required of you? What do you think you can bring to the club, obviously?
That experience, isn't it? So literally, just that experience. We've got so many young players that had more ability than I ever did have. Do you know what I mean? Or ever had. So you've got guys like Jamie, rapid, can finish.
Yeah, man.
You've got specialist people that can shoot. You've got Marlon can shoot from anywhere. It's always going to test the keeper or score. You've got loads of different players that are very good. Like young Timmy's good. He's got loads of bags of energy. You know, he always wants to learn more. These players can play, man. Like Ish can play. Loads of players can play, man.
I feel like you hit the nail on the head when you said that there about we're a new club and we're still just trying to find our feet. Even though we've got, which I think we have got the best team in the league.
Yeah.
It's just about gelling it together and everyone on the same wavelength.
That's it.
Because at the moment and how we play so far, it's like the last 2 games we've lost. Yeah, we have lost, and I don't make excuses. But if you look up, especially the last game we played against Blxck, if you look at the actual whole game, we dominate the game. And them sort of things that happen.
We pretty much dominated every game.
We have pretty much
The
dominated.
teams we play even say that, yo,
Yeah, like
we don't know how we won, but yo,
And I think that's where the problem, not the problem, but I think that's where, not the problem for us, the problem for everyone else comes and stems from is that when we actually get the first win, we click, and everyone, it finally clicks in their head.
Yeah.
No one's beating us.
Yeah, but that's, you know what it is, yeah? It's experience. Because I remember one of the first games, I think I told Josh, like, if we don't finish chances, it doesn't matter, we'll lose games, you know?
It was a pre-season game, wasn't it?
I think it was a pre-season game. I was saying, like, we had so many opportunities, we won at 1-0.
Pre-season game. Who was that against?
We won 1-0.
Brooklyn.
Was it against Brooklyn?
Yeah.
We love playing.
Yeah, I remember saying, like, look, like, we've got to finish our chances, because got loads of chances and we haven't finished.
Every game, we create the chances.
The Brooklyn game we last played with the Pirates, we had 6-1-1, which you them 6 on the ones we missed, take away the keeper errors. It's double figures the game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's double figures. But do you know what it is? We live and we learn from that. And
That's it.
when we play our next game,
We start,
you know,
doing madnesses. I feel sorry personally for
whoever we touch.
I feel like we are the Galacticos or something. Football.
Yeah, we are.
We are the bad smell. We are the bad smell.
And they're trying to get it off, but they can't.
Like, see, you can't get rid of a bad smell. Like, it's just there.
You know what's there? Like, I know that certain teams and teams that they watch our videos, they know what time it is, they know what
100%.
They go sleep, they think about it, they live and breathe. You see, they live and breathe.
Certain teams call our phones before we even left the change rooms at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, heard about your score.
Yeah, yeah.
They're watching us. Like,
Some of them know more about it
they're watching us.
than we do. Some of them know about the stuff before we even do that.
Some of them know more about it than I do.
Yeah,
They're
not
not
watching us.
crazy.
They're watching us. And you know who you are too.
So, Marv, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
So, what is your, before we wrap up, we are gonna wrap up at the same time, but what does grassroots football mean to you?
Grassroots is everything, isn't it? It's where everyone starts. It's probably where everyone finishes.
You're right. Even the pros.
Exactly. So yeah, there's loads of pros playing grassroots right now. So it's where you start. It's where most people finish as well. You got to look after it. You got to respect it. It is it's like the foundation of all levels of football. Do you know what I mean?
I get that. Yeah.
It's a foundation of all levels of football. How many footballers have started grassroots and ended up playing for England? Like that grassroots is the foundation. Do you know what I mean? So
I think that's why it's so important that we look after it and we treat it right.
yeah, you got to look after it. You got to respect it.
And then the last thing is what your aspirations and what do you want to do with DC?
So DC, you know what? I just want to give out my experience because I think my playing experience, I've learned a lot. I've learned so much, and there's a lot of players playing at grassroots level, Sunday league level, that have never had the opportunity to be coached from the coaches or learn the things that I've been able to learn, been fortunate enough to learn. So I want to pass that on to different players. So like you always see me speaking to like Jamie, giving him little tips that I can. I might be wrong, I might be right, but at least I'm giving that my input in it.
Yeah.
See if it can help him anyway. Timmy and any other young player that decent wants to learn, wants to keep growing. And yeah, like, if they want to progress in football, giving them the tools or the information that they need to get to that next level.
It's important.
That's good, man. Well, Marv, it's been a pleasure having you on today.
Definitely.
Cheers, man.
Been a pleasure. Guys, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go and visit our Humour link in the DC Football Club bio. Go and buy your merchandise. I know you want to go buy it.
So there.
We'll see you next time.
Really, we're the kings of the Sunday. On the booth on a Monday. Just took a flight to the